Hi everyone, are you ready for the next chapter of Junie B? In chapter 4 that we read yesterday, her tooth came out and she didn't want to look at herself in the mirror because she was afraid she was going to look like that creepy Uncle Lou. But then she finally looked at herself. Grandpa Miller helped her. I'm pretty sure she liked what she saw. She's probably a cute little kid. Today we're going to read chapter 5 called The Fairy. In this chapter, we're going to find out finally why Junie B is so afraid of the Tooth Fairy. That night we had festivities. Festivities is when my grandpa and grandma come over, and all of us eat cake. Grandma Helen Miller made the cake herself. She put a big smiley face on the top. Only that is not all, because the smiley face had a tooth missing, just like me. I laughed and laughed at that silly thing, and then I reached in my pocket and I got my tooth and I passed it all around the table. "That's a beaut, Junie B," said Grandma Miller. "I know it, Grandma, and I know it is a beaut," I said real proud. "I can't wait to take it to school for show and tell. The children are going to love this thing." Daddy looked strange at me. "Oh, gee, I don't know, honey," he said. "I'm not really sure you should take your tooth to school." Mother shook her head. "No, Junie B, that's definitely not a good idea. And besides, you won't even have your tooth on Monday, remember? You have to leave it for the Tooth Fairy tonight." Just then my skin got chill bumps again, and the flutterflies came back in my stomach, because I know stuff about the fairy. That's why. My voice felt kind of shaky. "Yeah, only what if I don't want to leave my tooth for the fairy, Mother?" I said. "What if I want to take it to show and tell? And that's all." Mother shook her head. "No, Junie B, no show and tell," she said. "Taking a tooth to show and tell is it's just disgusting," said Daddy. "Yes," said Mother, "disgusting." I whined at those two. "No, it isn't," I said. "Lots of kids bring their tooth to school, 'cause one time Roger brought a shark's tooth, and he even let me and her put it right in our mouths, and we looked like sharks, too." And I thought some more. Plus, another time, Shirley brought her grandmother's dentures, and lots of us put those in our mouths, too. Grandpa Miller did a little gag, only I don't actually know why. And Grandpa patted her hand. "Just be glad she didn't want to take the spit cup," he whispered. Just then my whole face lighted up, because I have ears like a hawk, of course. "The spit cup! The spit cup! I will take the spit cup!" I hollered. I jumped up and down from my chair and I zoomed to the bathroom. And I got the spit cup out of the trash and I dusted it off real good. "Good news, people," I shouted. "There's still some blood around the edges." I ran back to show them. Grandma Miller closed her eyes at the sight. Then Mother put her head on the table and hid her face in her arms. The festivities were over, I believe. After Grandma and Grandpa Miller left, Mother took me into the bathroom, and we brushed my teeth real careful. And then I took my loose tooth out of my pocket, and I brushed that guy too. I held it up to the light. "Look," I said, "look how shiny I made it. I really wish I could take this tooth to school, Mother. I really wish that with all of my might." Mother gave me a hug. "I know you do, Junie B," she said. "It's still going to be fun to put it under your pillow tonight, isn't it?" She smiled. I remember when I was a little girl. I couldn't wait to wake up in the morning and find out how much money the Tooth Fairy had left me. My skin got prickly at that name again, and also sweaty came on my head. I thought and thought about what to do. And finally, I stood on my tiptoes and I whispered in Mother's ear. "Yeah, only I know stuff about the fairy, Mother," I said. "I know the truth." Mother looked shocked at me. "The truth?" she said. "You know the truth?" "Yes," I whispered again. "I know the exact truth, Mother, 'cause last year Polly Allen Puffer told me the whole entire story." I did another big breath. And then I cupped my hands around her ear and I talked even quieter. "The fairy isn't real," I said. "The Tooth Fairy is just pretend." Mother's eyes got big and wide at me. "No," she said. "Yes," I whispered back. "Polly Allen learned it from his big brother. The Tooth Fairy isn't really a fairy at all. She's a teensy little tooth witch." Mother's mouth came all the way open. "A tooth witch?" "Shh," I said. "We have to talk real soft, Mother. If the tooth witch hears anyone telling her secret, she flies into their room at night and she pinches their cheeks." Mother covered her face with her hands. She was in shock, I believe. Polly Allen's brother even saw the tooth witch, I said, because one night he put a tooth under his pillow and then he stayed awake all night, and he saw the tooth witch fly into his room on a teensy toothbrush. Oh my, said Mother. I know it's oh my, I said, and that isn't even the worstest part, because the witch walked right under his pillow and she carried out his tooth, and then she chomped a big bite out of it, just like it was a little tooth apple. Mother made a noise behind her hands. I patted her very nice. I know how you feel, I said. This is hard to hear. Finally, Mother took her hands away. But it doesn't really make sense, Junie B., she said. I mean, why would a little witch leave money under a pillow? A witch would never do something nice, would she? I rolled my eyes way up to the ceiling, 'cause sometimes I have to explain everything to this woman. Of course she would, Mother. Don't you get it? The witch leaves money so that children think she's really a fairy. 'Cause if children don't think there's a fairy, they won't leave their teeth, right? And if they don't leave their teeth, the witch won't get any tooth apples. Mother closed her eyes very tight. And then all of a sudden, she opened up the bathroom door and she ran right out of the room. She was taking it harder than I thought. There's a picture of Junie B. telling her mom. Telling Mother about the tooth witch. So, tomorrow we'll read chapter 6. We'll figure out if Junie B puts her tooth under a pillow or if she takes it to show and tell on Monday.